you wouldn't mind just saying what your first name is and spelling it for us.
Okay, sure. My first name's Rick, R-I-C-K. My last name is Bibby, B-I-B-B-E-E.
And where are you from?
I'm from Leitersburg, Maryland, about 10 miles from here, right here in Washington County.
Okay, and you're running a stand here with coffee and some other things. Why don't you tell us about what's going on here?
Well, I'm collaborating with the Salt and Light Brigade here. They're friends of mine, and in my role in costume here as Uncle Sam, I'm working with Convention Estates. So we're kind of both working and supporting. I got some of my equipment, some of their equipment. We're all just doing that 1 + 1 = 3 thing to kind of do the good things here for the area. We were contacted and asked if we could come help support, and be a volunteer, and we put our heads together and said, two working together was better than me down there doing my table, him up here doing his. So we're working it together so we can kind of share the workload and get everything done. We're supportive of the truckers and their mission. We're we're all believing that that we shouldn't be told what to do as Americans. We have God-given rights, and we ought to be able to have those God-given rights. Be still there and not be mandated and told we have to do something. We have a document signed in 1776 that pretty much tells the world we're not going to put up with tyranny. Well, that's what we've been living under, it feels like. So this is my COVID protest beard right there. If you want to see that, that started growing in 2019, and that turned into people saying, "Are you Santa Claus?" I'm like, "No, I can be Uncle Sam though." And I pulled this out of the closet, bought this off Amazon, got this off of a haberdashery shop, and here I am, full-fledged as Uncle Sam here. So when people are coming up and saying, "Take my picture," I'll go, "I need you," and then I'll pull out my card for Convention Estates. I need you to sign the petition for Convention Estates to help us get the Article 5 movement going on. And then I start the conversation, and I'll give them their coffee or whatever, and then say goodbye, and the next person will come up and we'll start a conversation. If I get to this point, I pass out the card, and that way we share the goodwill about what we're all trying to get done here today. The truckers have their mission. I'm trying to help us save the country through Article 5. The truckers are trying to raise awareness to get everyday Americans to go out there and fight back too, because if that inner patriot doesn't rip out of your chest at some point, you don't get that inner patriot ripping out there, the country may not be there someday. So mine jumped out of my chest 2 years ago, and I haven't been able to put it back in. So that's
speaking of patriotism. What has been your experience running the stand, meeting the people who are here, and how have they put an impression on you?
These people are God-fearing people. They're all helping out. If somebody needed something moved from one vehicle, one truck to another, you'd have a team here in no time at all. So everyone has that spirit of community and camaraderie. There's people that showed up in Indiana just to see the trucks and followed them from Indiana to here. Not with no clue. They just went down, gassed up their car, and started following them, okay? It's the feeling, that camaraderie. The last time I felt this was on January 6th, okay? And we all know what that was supposed to be now, and you can't talk about that in polite society, but that was one of the most patriotic events I've ever been to in my life. This is probably the second most. My wife didn't go down January 6th, but she's here today, and she's like saying, "Oh my golly, this and that, and everybody's so nice and this and that." And I'm like, exactly. I mean, people praying together, people just holding hands together, doing different things, people working together. This is America right here. Okay, it's not the America that we're told on some of the national news sometimes and told how we have to go live our life. This is people living their lives and making their choices.
What's the America that you see portrayed in the national news?
Do what you're told. Don't step out of line. We're in control. You're not. And I'm not going to bend the knee. If I don't think. I mean, I taught my kids all through school. Ask why. If they can't tell you why, then don't do it. That's how you get led astray in life sometimes. You just blindly follow the lemmings off the cliff. You have to go and make your own decisions. Making your own decisions in life, that's what we should raise all our kids to go do. And if you feel something's right, and that your gut says it, your head says it, then you go make that happen, and you go live that life from that perspective.
Do you think most Americans are the following type, or do you think most Americans are individualistic type?
I think the Americans that are individualistic, those are the ones that don't put their head in the nightly news and just take that programming and say, "Oh, I have to do this." I was told a long time ago, where the mind goes, the body follows. Okay, and if you feed yourself with negativism, that's all you're going to have is negativism. If you feed yourself by going to church and being a family and being positive and stuff, you go out there and you make good things happen. And in reality, anybody can choose to have a bad day or a good day. It's your attitude that affects your altitude. And if you go into it with a bad attitude, you're going to have a horrible, awful day. But if you go into it expecting to have a good day, I mean, people say, "How you doing?" I say, "I'm alive and kicking. You want me to kick you to prove it?" And you'll say, "Well, yeah, how high?" I said, "Well, how high? You want me to kick you in the chin? Hang on, let me back up a second, But if you get people, when you let them understand that you have value, you have worth, and if you can bring value to my equation, I can bring value to yours, 1 + 1 = 3, then we can better each other's lives. There's a lot of 1 + 1 = 3 going on here today. In this booth right here, these two groups working together. We put out a call earlier, we was almost out of coffee. We have like 30 jugs of coffee over here now. People came just flying down here to give to us when we told them that. We needed paper cups. Cups came flying into us. So again, it's that community help and community spirit. That's what today is really all about.
And if you had the opportunity to sit down with President Biden right now, what do you think you'd tell him?
I'd tell him, just quit paying attention to who you think you're reporting to, and start paying attention to the people you should be listening to. You might be Joe from up here in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Well, my black belt karate test, I ran around Harvey's Lake, Pennsylvania, right outside Wilkes-Barre. And I met those people up there, and he's not acting anything like the people I met that day when I took my 12-mile run around that lake to pass my black belt test. So nothing at all. So he needs to listen to America and do America, and not listen to whoever's talking to his earpiece when he's up there.
Thank you so much, sir. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay.